Yes, welcome along to Good Morning Dublin for day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival, live from Leopardstown here behind me. And joining myself, David Jennings, to preview all the action on Sunday is Paul Keeley, Johnny Deneen, and we brought in a super sub from Paddy Power, the slightly less scary than Ruby Walsh, Rory Delargy. The Shrudy is in today. So, Keels, before we dissect all the action, what everybody wants to know is how was last night? You threw yourself into the thick of the action in the Dublin city centre. The Guinness was had. How was it?
I'm getting too old, mate.
I'm getting
too old. I'm gone at the game.
Are you actually? Are you actually growing up?
I'm gone at the game. I had to leave all the young'uns behind by 10 o'clock. I said I've had enough. They were out till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, but I had to go.
Oh my God!
Needed my bed.
For the first time in my life, I'm disappointed by
I'm a pathetic old man now, I'm afraid.
Before you did go to bed, what was the atmosphere like?
Yeah, it was great. It was buzzing. There was plenty of people there.
Yeah, Guinness got over here.
Plenty of people there, but I felt like the oldest man in town.
Okay. Maybe you were.
Probably was, yeah.
Johnny Deneen, the atmosphere on track here at Leopardstown. For you, the only emotion you have is in your pocket. We know that. That's all you care about is winning money. But even for you, Johnny Deneen, even for you yesterday, there must have been a little bit of a lump in the throat, was there?
No, not really, to be honest, no.
But it was after the first 5 got beat at Wembley.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was off the bridle early on, but I didn't. I don't even go near the parade ring, you know what I mean? I hardly ever do. And the minute Gallop in the Champ won, I was out the gate and gone. So,
and this is from a man that backed Gallop in the Champs.
Yeah, I didn't have a huge bet on it or anything like it. I did have something on at 64 on, but look, it finished up a bit shorter. But I was glad it won, obviously. I was glad it won. But Ashley's he's a brilliant horse, obviously. Of course he is. But I don't go in for the cheering them home really stuff.
So you weren't involved in the renditions of Ole Ole Ole?
No, I was in the car by then, I'd say.
Were you, Johnny?
Yeah, I was, I think.
Okay. And overall, how was your day?
Started bad. Went stuck back to loser early on. A couple of losers early on. Then he's a small bet in the winner, but gave that back straight away. Laid another winner in Wetherby. So I was behind after a couple of races. I was actually, before the race even started here, I was upside down even. You know what I mean? Because I had to do 2 or 3 things wrong in England, but I clawed my way back anyway. But I didn't do any harm in the end anyway.
And for people that buy the Racing Post, of course, you can buy it in your local shop today, and you can get it online. You'll see Johnny Deneen's tipping on a Saturday, and yesterday there was a lucky 15 from Johnny Deneen where he got 3 up in the lucky 15, including a 6-to-1 shot. Johnny, you were in flying form in the tipping yesterday, and Colcannon won the bumper for you.
Yeah, I never backed it, Colcannon. No, I kind of missed the price that, and I just left it off in the end. Was there a 6-to-1? I didn't do it.
What price did the Colcannon return?
92, I think. Yeah.
Just take it, Johnny.
And Soul Solution was one, and actually the 4th one had a chance when it fell.
It did, yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, that's one. I actually had something on Soul Solution, not much, and I had something on Lucas Tipple. I didn't back the other 2.
Okay. But you ended the day slightly in front.
Just about, yeah.
Okay. Rory, fantastic atmosphere here yesterday. Gallop in the Shams. Where are you ranking him in your head in the all-time greats that you've seen?
That I've seen, then it takes Arkle out of the equation, doesn't it? Really?
Oh, does it?
Well, I haven't seen Arkle, obviously, despite appearances. You basically you take Arkle and Flying Bolt out of the equation. You're basically looking at great chasers from the mid '70s onwards, and you had a few who were brilliant on their day, and you had a few like Borough Hill Lad who was brilliant but fragile. But the key is with great chasers, it's not just about putting up a huge performance. It's coming back year on year to do it again. So any horse you can win a race like the Irish Gold Cup 3 times, the Gold Cup at Cheltenham 3 times, they become greats because they've come back and done it. And we've seen so many good horses win a Gold Cup and win it easily and look like they're going to dominate for years, and they've not been able to do so because the race is so tough. So the fact that he's been, and he should have had another race at Cheltenham in his pocket as well, shouldn't he? Having come down very unluckily at the last as a novice chaser. So he's right up there. I don't really. Once you start having arguments over £1 or £2 here or there, you're missing the point about great horses.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is a great Gallop in the Shops. And we saw other potential greats yesterday, Paul Keeley. And going into day 1 of the Dublin Racing Festival, the Cheltenham Festival looked as though Britain were going to strike back this year properly. The new line was short price favourite for the Turner's Novice Hurdle, and then Sergino was, I think, 4-7 this time yesterday for the Arkle. Now, all of a sudden, final demand in the Turner's Novice Hurdle. And Majborough and the Arkle, it's not all one-way traffic anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you'd hope that this meeting would throw up some. It normally does, doesn't it? I mean, they're actually hot favourites for Cheltenham going into this meeting anyway, aren't they? Final demand looked really, really good. I was talking with Johnny about it in the car coming in. you know, he said it was only 4 lengths clear when I turned away. Like, you know what I mean? But the end, the finishing bit at the end, when he's gone on to win by 12 was good. And at the time at Madgemore's race was pretty good. And given that he can jump better than that, I think when he was left alone to do his own thing, that's when he got in trouble. When he was asked for a jump, he could really fly him. Like, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a fascinating matchup with Sergina.
Johnny, there was a lot happening yesterday, and I was obviously trying to write a few words as well, and I was in the parade ring after every race. And one thing that did stand out in my mind was when Willie Mullins was being interviewed, he was talking about, you know, getting the real good horses every year, that you have one each season. And he said, look, we were lucky enough, we'd Gallop in the shops one season, then we'd Factifile, now we have Mageborough, and the next one now is Final Demand, he said, after Final Demand 1. So he obviously, you know, circles out one that could potentially be a superstar. And he had no hesitation saying that could be Final Demand, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, look, he's a smashing horse. And like, to do that on your, second racecourse appearance, third ever run, I didn't know what race he was going to be in for, but when he passed me, as I said to Pat, I didn't realise he wouldn't by as much until I looked at it last night. I thought he might have won about 5 or 6 lengths. Like, he's an absolute certainty if he runs in the Albert Bartlett, isn't he? Like, if he does go that route. Now,
funny race though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, he's almost too good for it, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's like, if they went another 2 furlongs, he'd won by 70 lengths at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think the stamina is any issue to him. I'd say he'd stay forever and ever. Like, are
you saying that because you backed the New Line, Johnny? Is it no?
No, I didn't back it. I think but I think New Line is starting to. There's creeks starting to come in English form, and there's some nice Irish horses appearing. Like, if he goes back to 2.5 mile, and I think the softer the ground, the better he'll be. Final Demand, he'd look certainly in the Albert Bartlett. I don't care what kind of a race it is. Like, okay, the Albert Bartlett has thrown up some strange results, but when there's a short price favourite, don't be far away at the same time. They've, like, with Cheetah Lineman and Blackjack Ketchum, them kind of even money chances, they did win in the Albert Bartlett. I know there was one of them beaten one year by the young lad that died in the swimming pool. Remember that race? Who was Brian Hill?
Brindisi Breeze.
Brindisi Breeze, yeah. That beat a favourite, all right. But they don't be a million miles away now. Like, if they bet, the way I look at the Albert Bartlett, if they bet 5 to 1 defeat, anything can win it. You know what I'm saying? But if there's a raging hot favourite, like this fella will be. Like, if he comes back 2 furlongs in trip and running against the likes of Cowabunga and the New Line, I wouldn't consider him a good thing at all now. You know what I mean?
And it was interesting. We did speak after racing yesterday, and I put the question to you. I said, Final Demand or the New Line? And you hesitated for a second, and you said, no, I'm still the New Line.
I did not.
You did, yeah?
You weren't talking to me afterwards.
I was, yeah.
What? Are you sure?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
I can't remember that at all.
So you're still in the New Line?
And I wasn't even drinking.
Are you still in the New Line camp?
No, I think that it's a fascinating race now with Cowabunga's in the mix as well, in my opinion.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
and
so
the New Line and this fella yesterday.
But if he does go for the Albert Bartlett, that's game over?
Oh, I think so, yeah, I think so.
Anything else catch your eye, Keels? Hello Neighbour, big Triumph Hurdle hope now?
No. That's. I don't think that form's good enough. I think it's a straight. I think it's actually a hurdle race at Cheltenham that's a straight match between 2 British horses.
Okay. Anything else catch your eye yesterday, Rory?
I thought the bumper field was a very good field. I thought it was a messy race though. So the question is whether Kilcannon's a lot better than that, or whether he got the best ride on the day. And he did get a very good ride on the day. I think there might be 1 or 2 beaten horses in the bumper who will turn up at Cheltenham at big prices and actually run better races. I don't think they went fast enough to show 1 or 2 off to best effect. Charles Burns' horse in that, I think, is a really nice long-term prospect. Okay. He just wasn't suited by going a slow pace along the inside. He was fairly right the frame in the end, but I think he's one to look forward to.
I think I know the way you're thinking would have finished second in the Irish Gold Cup if he hadn't made that mistake 3 hours. And if you want to back something each way or without Galloping des Champs on the day at Cheltenham, he'll be the one.
Yeah, he's getting there, isn't he?
He'll fly up that hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's not injured, is he?
Was he not in the Gold Cup?
I couldn't believe it. I think he's taken out the Gold Cup.
Has he been taken? I think the Grand National could be the main aim.
Yeah, I'm almost certain he's not in it, which is amazing, like, because he should be in it, really.
He should be in it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably not that.
You can supplement that.
I suppose
you can supplement.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I mean, Factifile obviously has always been on course for the Gold Cup, and I think after the way he shaped yesterday, he looked very much Ryanair, didn't he?
No,
it wasn't strong from the last day. It wasn't an out-and-out gallop. The ground was good enough. He just didn't get home from the last fence, so he had to be dropping back to the Ryanair, and then JP will be looking for a second string for the Gold Cup.
And on the Cheltenham team, if you're not going to Cheltenham, would you like to go to Paddy Power's fan zone? I'd say it'd be great crack. prize draw for one of 5 £50 Amazon vouchers. Visit racingpost.com/BPS or scan the QR code to take the survey today. Yeah, whether you're in the Paddy Power fan zone at Cheltenham or whether you're at Cheltenham, you can still watch Good Morning Cheltenham, because our shows will be back with you for the 5 days of the Cheltenham Festival. Yes, we'll be back with you on the Monday of Cheltenham to preview all the action for the week, and then every day at 8:30, start your day at the Cheltenham Festival with Good Morning Cheltenham. But this is Good Morning Dublin, and this is day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival. We're going to kick off our preview with the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Paddy and Maury Mullins Mayor's Handicap Hurdle, and this is a tricky one to start proceedings, gentlemen. And at the moment, slightly uneasy at the market is the British Raider Queen's Gamble, who's now 4-1 joint favourite with Straight Home. Sevante, the big mover, 13-2 from 12-1 yesterday. Vicio is 13-2. Qualamita is 7-1, and it's 14-1 bar. Rory Delargy, we spoke about this before the show, and we were making cases for different horses ourselves. Have you managed to come up with something for us here?
The race revolves around Queen's Gamble. She's been the favourite for this throughout. She's got top weight. She's got a lot of class. But the question is what the ground is going to be riding like on the hurdles course today after a bit of rain overnight. And if it is genuinely soft, I think she can win. You know, she's a mare who has shown her very best form on good. She's got away with good to soft ground, but it has to be more good than good to soft for her to show her form. She's been very good on the quickest ground that she's raced on, and I'd be massively worried if the rains got into the ground overnight. It was soft enough yesterday. I would have been against her on yesterday's ground, and if it's softened up any further with the rain we've had overnight, then she'd be a big negative.
Is there a chance, if the ground is okay for her, that she could be a class apart here?
She could be, yes. I mean, she needs to show that what she can do from the last hurdle to the line. She's a mare who's always, I mean, she won a couple of Cheltenham bumpers very impressively, and she sort of, what impressed you with her there was how easily she got into the contest from off the pace, and then she was doing it on the bridle. She needs to show that she can do it off the bridle in a really tough race from the last hurdle. That's the slight question with her, but yeah, she does. She's well handicapped, but she's given weight away to a few mares who've probably been laid out for this race as well, which doesn't make it easy.
Okay, so what has been laid out for this race?
Well, I've ended up, I couldn't be getting heavily involved in this race. I find it really hard. You can make a strong case for the next few in the betting for various reasons. The gamble you were saying on Colm Murphy's mare, I did look at her. She was getting into contention when brought down at the second last year over Christmas, and I thought she might be interesting enough. She's become short enough now for me. Median Naranja ran well in this race last year behind Bruccio. She's much better off of Bruccio this time around. She's just a pound higher. Carl Miller claims off her as well. She's never won a handicap. She's had 10 or 11 starts in handicaps. Hasn't won any of them, so I was hoping that come the SB she'd be a big price. She's around 22, 25 to 1 this morning. I'd want to be getting at least that price and maybe a bit bigger, but I thought she wouldn't be popular. But as I said, she was suited by the track and trip last year. I can see her running into the frame again. She's fairly handicapped. She normally gives her running. She's pretty reliable. We were disappointed at Cheltenham last time out, but generally speaking, her form in Irish handicaps is solid, and I think she can pick up a bit of place money. She's not going to win this race, I wouldn't have thought. That'd be a great result if she did, but she finishes 4th or 5th. She'll make me a few bucks. That
is number 4 on your race card, Median Aranja, 20-1 with Paddy Power for Rory Delargy. There has been a few moves. We spoke about Savante. Lily de Burlay has been a massive plunge this morning. 33s, 25s, 20s, 16s, now into 14-1 Lily de Burlay for JJ Slevin and Stuart Crawford in the double green. Johnny, yesterday you were very, very keen to take on Meeting of the Waters, and I think you did lay him. Now, I've got a few things wrong this morning. Did you lay
I did, actually, yeah, I did.
Okay, we can agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I don't want to fall out with you. That would be a disaster for my career. Are you going to lay anything here? Is there anything in the market you're taking on?
I don't fancy Queen's Gamble at all myself, no. I don't.
Lovely.
I don't. Look, it's 4-1. Look, I just think, as Rory said, I think the ground is against her, for starters, and I think she's not the heartiest when it comes to a real dogfight. And I'd say you'll need something with a bit of steel about her here. And I have a feeling that she travels well. And like even the last day, I know it was against Geldings and Navajo Indian. That was a goodish race, better, but she has a lot of weight. She's given weight to horses here that have probably trained, especially put away for this race. A few dangerous looking horses like the Straight Home, who's definitely been kept for something like this. Is found in the market now at 4-1. Like of the two 4-1 chances, I'd fancy straight home. Like if there was doing a bet in this race, like a match bet to beat Queen's Gamble, I'd fancy that very strongly. In straight home to beat Queen's Gamble. If there were two of them, like they'd be probably in a match with some of these firms, whatever. Vicio's gone from Dick Donoghue to Emmett Mullins. That's a big stable change too. Saying that it's not a certainty to actually start the race, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it, Vicio? So at 7-1 or whatever price, 13-2, it's not a great price. Savante is a horse to me that went.
I like her now, so choose your words.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think about Savante. Won a bumper first pop and thing with punch out, real impressive.
Yeah.
Then goes to Clarny, absolutely disgraced itself, right? Couldn't be found. Goes to Tremor in a maiden hurdle, wins when you say she's back on track. Then ran bad again in Down Royal.
She was sent off favourite for a Grade 3 race at Down Royal, and nothing went her way there. She jumped into the back of other fillies, and she never really got into her comfort zone. I didn't think she ran that bad at Down Royal.
Yeah, I think she only ran ordinary myself, and I think there's a touch of a Jekyll and Hyde about her. She has a couple of good runs and a couple of very ordinary ones, in my opinion. Like she was only going okay here at Christmas, I think. I don't think she'd have been involved myself. I had something on her anyway. And
I thought she was only gathering a head
I don't know. The stable's going poorly as well. I mean, like for the men that trained all them winners in Cheltenham years ago, how many winners is he training nowadays? Very few, you know what I mean? So, he is a good trainer, but there is something wrong there. They're not having winners like they used to. He went to a period where maybe they're a year without a winner, which is incredible for a trainer of this quality. I think it has I won't be a bit surprised if it runs well, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was nowhere either. That's the kind of thing. But it is a deepish race. Qualamita's coming with maiden hurdle form. There's other ones down along the way, but I think straight home might have something in hand here, the way people are talking. If I was to have a bet, that'd be the one I'd go with.
They're the right people talking, are they?
They are. I think the way they're talking it'll win. I don't know.
Okay. And Johnny does know the right people, let me tell you. Keels, what do you like in the
like Roy, I've been trying to get in media around her to win a race for quite some time, and I had a good bet on her at Cheltenham last time, and she didn't show up at all. I do think she might be in the frame again. I jumped off her right at the very end for the other Elliott mare, Qualamita, who's a much shorter price, but there's been promise in those maiden hurdle starts, and she just ran into a very good mare last time in 6.5, didn't she? I know she got well thumped, but 6.5 been third in a very good Irish Says, isn't she? You know what I mean? She's pretty decent. And yeah, there just might be a bit more to come now going handicapping.
Yeah, and Gordon Elliott won this race with Black Tears, who went on to win at the festival as well. So, he does tend to target some of his fillies at this race. So you're with just about Qualamita?
Just about Qualamita, but yeah, it would be one of the smallest bet races of the meeting.
Okay, well, I had put up as my banker of the day Savante until Johnny Deneen started talking. I disagree with Johnny. I think Savante is a strong finisher, and I thought she was just really getting going when she was brought down here at Christmas, and she actually pinged the hurdle and then ran into the back of a faller. I think she's well handicapped. Connor Stonewalsh takes off £5. Thought 12-1 yesterday was massive. She's now into 13-2, which is probably on the short side, but I think she's got a cracking chance, Savante. I think she's better than that mark. So I'm with Savante, you're with Qualamita, you're with Straight Home, and it's Median Aranja for you, Rory. So that is the opener. That is the opener on day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival. And let's move on then to the second race on the card. It is the 110. It is the Ladbrokes Novice Chase, and this is interesting because I know one man on the panel who's got a strong opinion on Ballyburn, who is currently your 8-11 favourite, despite all the big guns being declared. Ballyburn is still odds on. It's 5-2 in Perry Pass. Champ Kiley, very, very negative in the market, big on the exchanges too. Champ Kiley out to 11-1. Better Days Ahead is 12-1. Crow Park 12-1. Prairie Dancer 150-1. And if you fancy Arctic Skua, you can get 250-1 and then visit your doctor. Rory, Ballyburn, what are your thoughts?
I think he's very good. I mean, we know he's very good from last season, but quite a lot of people, if you speak to people about this Kempton run, a lot of people say, oh, he's a bit disappointing there. And I didn't think he was. I thought 2 miles of Kempton was never going to suit him. But it was a good test for him to see exactly how he would cope with that kind of test. You know, it's as fast the 2 miles as you're going to get on a good racecourse in the UK. And he was up against an exceptional horse in Sergino. And if you take your eye off Sergino and just watch Ballyburn through the race, bar the last where he dives at it, his jumping was actually very good. He jumps like a stayer rather than a 2 miler. Sergino showed what you have to do as a 2 miler, really, really pinging his fences and making ground with them. Ballyburn was slower through the air, but he wasn't ponderous. If you just, as I said, if you took Sergino out and just looked at what Ballyburn did to the rest of the field, going away from the stands first time, I thought the pair of them were really, really impressive. And of course, he's paid the penalty for trying to match strides with Sergino in the closing stages. All his siblings are 3 milers. They're all stayers. He showed the brilliance over hurdles to be a Grade 1 winner over 2 miles, but we knew that he would stay at least 2.5 this season, and on pedigree 3 miles was going to suit him in time. Willie's never in a massive rush to step them up to 3 miles, because, you know, the quicker you step them up to 3 miles, the less mileage you get out of them as a general rule. I think this is his ideal trip at the moment. This 2 mile 6 will suit him. I think it's going to be exceptionally hard to beat. And, you know, I'm not really an odds-on backer, but he's definitely not a horse I'd want to be against here.
Oh, Johnny Deneen, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Here we go. The counter-argument now, please, Johnny.
Yeah, look, I'm yet to be convinced by Ballyburn over fences. Both times he run over fences, I didn't think he was overly impressive jumping-wise. Okay, he was second into Sir Gino, who's a smashing horse like over 2 mile, and maybe that was. But at the same time, he was favoured for the Arkle before he ran in Kempton. Like, there was no talk of him going to 3 miles at that stage. Do you know what I mean? He was going for the Arkle, and that was it. Like, he was able to win here back at 2 miles last year. That was no issue whatsoever. But you can pick holes in his hurdle form, big gaping ones, in my opinion. Anyway, like, you have the likes of Slade Steele thrown in there anyway, who isn't even worthy of a Cheltenham entry even nowadays. So I'm yet to be convinced by Ballyburn over fences. The one thing I'm worried about here is. You get a pain in your stomach if you lay these horses and they're allowed boss the races. Like a bit like Majbury yesterday. The minute he hits the front, that race is over. Yeah. And Gallop and Deschamps the same. If he's allowed boss the race and control the race, I can definitely see him winning. But I'm hoping that the likes of Croke Park and them don't.
Champ Kiley, natural front runner.
Yeah, hopefully that he will. Like, the more horses in front of him in the race, the better chance he has of getting beat, and the more pressure is going to be put on his jumping. I want to see him in behind 3 or 4 horses to see how he's going to fare, and I can see him belting fence after fence here when the time comes. I'm going to pose him. I don't care who doesn't fancy him or who does fancy him for that reason. Do you know what I mean? It's just I want to see him but I want him to be put in a position early on where he's out of his comfort zone, if you know what I mean.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to wait till they jump off? Or
I'll probably lay him for something before the race, and if I like the way the race is going, I'll press up, and if it's not, I'll leave it the way it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd hate to lay him and let him be like horses. When they allow control race, they look machines, and you see it every day of the week. You see the likes of Eid Atlantic yesterday. He's allowed control 2 races in a row, and the first day he's not allowed control a race, he's not worth a sausage.
So do you think there's more of a chance this time tomorrow morning? Is there more of a chance of Ballyburn being evens for the Brown Advisory or 12-1 for the Brown Advisory?
But I suppose Phyllis will still have faith in him. Did he never be 12-1? Will he? Like, because can only go on one race. Yeah, I'm hoping that he'll get beaten in race, and then he will drift obviously for the Brown Advisory. Look, if he beats these horses by half the track, he's entitled to be even money for the. But Imperial Pass is horse, even though he's a good horse, he's going to be dropped out nowhere, and he's got to do everything right, creeping in, and he's probably going to be coming at the last. There's no margin for error ridden like that. He's probably going to be behind Ballyburn. He's going to actually have to pass it. But Champ Kiley and Better Days Ahead and Croke Park are all probably going to be in front of him. I'm hoping they will anyway, and for that reason I'm going to chance laying him.
So you're laying Ballyburn. You probably won't have a win bet in the race.
No, I'd give Better Days Ahead a chance.
Would you?
I would.
Is the ground going to be okay for him though?
Well, we're hoping so.
I suppose it'll be on the slow side of good, surely. Won't it? The ground wasn't horrific in Cheltenham last year, was it? Or was it?
It was.
It was
on the Friday, was it? Yeah.
It was deep enough, yeah.
Yeah, look, that might be a stab, no, but like, I don't really fancy Croke Park, to be honest. I was giving Champ Kiley a chance, but he's well held by Imperial Pass and Hurdle form at the same time. It's hard to see, and the form of the race that he ran in Fairy House didn't really work out great either. The likes of Chigorn and Cleotis Polo, they're all, you know what I mean, they're all average enough. Look, Ballyburn is probably the horse to beat, but I'm just yet to be convinced by him jumping.
Okay, he's not a believer in Ballyburn, Johnny Deneen. He's going to be laying Ballyburn in the Leopardstown Novice Chase. Keels, what way are you thinking?
I'm more in Johnny's camp than I am in Rory's, to be honest. For a horse that achieved that higher rating over hurdles as a novice, and we'll take this is one of the absolute superstar novices of the last 20 years, to come over fences, and yes, I know it was 2 miles, I know it was Kempton and Sir Gino, maybe the next Sprinter Sacra, but when you see the winning comment, Canter, you know what I mean? He didn't just beat him, he absolutely destroyed him. So, yeah, and this was a horse, like Johnny said, he certainly had the speed to win over 2 mile last year, so he's either got very slow very quickly, or he might not be as good as we thought he was. And I'm not convinced with him by jumping. I'm not convinced by Imperial Pass as a chaser either. Now, I don't think he did much wrong, but I thought he had to work hard enough to win that race last time. I didn't think it was a very good race. So I was very keen to take him on if he was going to go to Sandown, and obviously he didn't. So I am just about in the better days ahead camp.
Okay.
Now it's a horse I wanted to follow because last year's Martin Pipe, was the biggest plot race of the festival year in, year out, isn't it? The first 6 in the betting finished in the first 6. And I thought he won it pretty well. And that race has obviously turned out some brilliant chasers over the years, including Galloping Deschamps. And I think he might end up turning into one. I think he wants a stronger gallop than he got last time. And hopefully, if the Champ Keeley puts a bit of pace to it, we'll see the real better days ahead, as long as it keeps drizzling with rain for another couple of hours.
Yeah, I think Brown Advisory-wise, I think Better Days Ahead is a massive player in the Brown Advisory. Just wonder, this trip on this ground, will he get tapped for toe a little bit?
Yeah, he might do. I'm hoping Champ Keeley goes hard enough and makes it a test.
Okay, so Better Days Ahead is currently 12-1 with Paddy Power for this novice chase. Ballyburn, if you fancy him, he's 8-11. Rory does. So do I. I think he's actually going to win today, and I think he'll just get away with his jumping. And he is currently 8-11 with Paddy Power. There you go. That is the 110. It is the first grade one of the day. And moving swiftly on to what is going to be a fascinating Tattersalls Ireland Novice Hurdle, and this is going to have serious ramifications for Cheltenham because Kopek the Board is currently your 8-11 favourite. K. Doughty, the big drifter over the last few days, is now into 15-4. Redemption Day. Do you keep the faith in Redemption Day? He's out for redemption. He is 8-1. Blue Devassi is 9-1. Good and Clever, the British Raider for Warren Greatrex and James Bowen is 16-1. Carnaca is 33-1. 40-1 Sea of Sands. Eastern Legend 66-1. So is Caravan, and so is Winnie Hill. Kopek the Board, Paul Keeley, did everything wrong and still won. Is this another Mullins machine?
It could be. It's obviously very talented, but there's a chance to do everything wrong again because it didn't look the most straightforward, did it? Pulling, not jumping so well. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not a race I don't think I'm going to play in at the front end of the market anyway. I mean, there was all sorts of rumours about K. Doughty.
The rumour mill was in free flow on Friday.
No, Thursday night it was. Thursday night. He was supposed to be on a...
What did you hear?
Yeah, anything from a stone bruise to a career-ending injury and on the way to a veterinary hospital. And, two bookmakers pulled the market completely. Everybody else pushed it out to 4-1. Friday morning, declared back into 9-4. So who knows? It was
drifting
quite
again.
Drifting again, yeah. So quite weak. So who knows? Obviously, very talented, but I don't think any of these have actually done that much to have a market that strong. Obviously, it's Willie Mullins. You're going to make them favourites and all that, but I actually think Good and Clever will be in the free.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think he was given enough to do in that. I still want to call it the Tolworth, but it's now the Formby Aintree, and is a horse that wants miles much further than 2 miles
Form
as well.
has been let down since then.
Form's been let down. Yeah, I'm in the Twister camp where they shouldn't have run. I don't think that was. I don't think that was a real Potter's charm. Next time, I hope I'm right as well. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So yeah, the form's not strong, but none of this form is that strong yet. Something's going to, whatever wins this is going to show a big amount of improvement on what they've done. I think he'll be in the frame. I don't think. I'm not saying he'll win.
So 16-1, maybe an each way play.
Yeah, each way play. Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, I'm intrigued to know your thoughts on Kopek the Board. Where do you stand?
I think it's very short. I do. I genuinely do. I think it's a very, very sharp price. Will K. Doughty would he even still run? Is there a chance he won't?
Really?
Yeah, who knows? You know what I mean? At what stage can he be pulled out? You know what I mean? If he's something wrong with him this morning, I look at if he does run anyway, the way that people were talking about, I don't think I'd be backing him. Look, Kopek the Board is a big engine for sure. Knocked down a lot of hurdles here. Got to run in the race, maiden hurdle. Different type of race here. I can't get over how short he is, to be honest now.
You could be laying this guy as well.
I think I will. It's not a great race though, is it? Like when Redemption Day, 4th in a maiden hurdle here at Christmas, he's 3rd choice. I actually had something on Blue Devassi during the week in the hope that maybe K. Doughty wasn't going to run, and back to me, straight small money now. But I think he'd definitely be in the first 3, and if the favourite blew out, Kopek the Board, I think he has a chance. It's probably the best of the rest of them, I think, Blue Devassi, even though he's well beaten by Romeo Coolio here at Christmas, beaten 9 lengths. I don't think it's a vintage race, and for that reason you couldn't say for certain that Kopek the Board is an all-in lay or anything like that. But I'm told he's very free, Kopek the Board, and gone free. And that'll be a worry here. Like you see the likes of St. Lucie here yesterday, horses run free in these kind of races, they don't get home, they don't win. And like, even though he might be allowed to get off in front here, if he's too free, he'll get beaten. And I'll take my chances. There's two things against him. There's three things against him. Is he going to be actually good enough? Will he run free, and would he jump properly? His best chance of jumping properly is getting a soft lead. If somebody actually took him on, if I was certain that he wouldn't be allowed to make the running, I'd definitely have a goal in him. But I'm afraid that he might get off in front like he did here at Christmas. And when you can make mistakes and still win from the front, you can't do that from behind.
Okay, but you're going to take a chance on lanes. That means Johnny is laying Queen's Gamble, Ballyburn, and Copac to board.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting early stages for you today, Johnny.
Yeah, we'll see, sure, yeah.
It is a 9-1 his selection in the race, Blue Devassi, who I think is kind of I think you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's going to,
like if he does manage to win, it can't be a great race.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
It'll be good for Romeo Coolio supporters in the Supreme. Are you a Copac to board fan?
It's not my kind of race, but I thought Copac to board was very impressive, despite all that he did wrong. And what I liked about him compared to one or two other dodgy jumpers was he was never stuttering into a hurdle. He was happy to take them on. He didn't lose ground at any of his obstacles, despite kicking them out of the ground or whatever.
Yeah, there's a bit of French Holly about it.
Or a bit of French Holly, or a bit of Faugheen about him. It was much the same as the novice. And I like that. I like when they're a bit ignorant, you prefer them than when they're clueless.
But you are right. I watched the replay last night.
Jasmine Defoe, for example, is the opposite. He comes to hurdle and goes, "What's that for?" Yeah.
But you kind of think, I remember watching the race live and I said, he's a terrible jumper. And like, he did meet them all on the wrong side, but he never really lost any momentum.
No, he didn't. And the other thing about him, for a maiden hurdle, that race split into three. There were often get maiden hurdles where there's two races going on: the good horses at the front and the moderate ones at the back. And this one, you almost had three separate races going on. They went at a really strong pace. Winnie Hill set it, and he was just off it on the outside. The fact that he hit the line so hard, it wasn't just that he won easily, but he was still tanking away at the end of the race, despite those mistakes. So I think his aptitude impresses me. And I think he's bound to improve. Ruby said he's done an awful lot of schooling since, unsurprisingly. And he said of the two of them...
I don't like that. I don't like
well,
that.
I know. When they need the schooling, when he said that, he said they've both done a lot of schooling. He said the one that I would expect this one to improve. Jasmine Defoe, maybe not there yet. Well, he ran well for a long way yesterday. But I'd be more inclined to think this will improve. And I didn't massively want to be against him. In saying that, Winnie Hill, who was third to him last time out, is the rank outsider in this field. And I think it's one of those, everyone says, well, the one horse we know that he can definitely beat is Winnie Hill, so he's completely ignored. Actually, that horse ran very well from the front of a serious gallop. I thought he'd run okay today.
66 to 1,
66 to 1. I might have a couple of bob, but
this is how you made your name for yourself, isn't it?
Well, I wasn't really thinking about Winnie Hill coming here, and I put Copac to board up as a selection for the race, and I think he might end up being something special, and I don't want to take away from that. But having seen that Winnie Hill is 66 to 1, I might be looking see if anyone will give me 80s on that for a couple of shekels. Because I think horses like that tend to offer you value because people look for the most obvious solution first. Horse A has beaten horse B, therefore horse B can't win. We'll come to this in the bumper with a slightly similar argument. And I think those horses end up being overpriced as a result, so I might end up having a little tickle there.
Okay, there we go. It's 2 votes for Copac to board, myself and Rory. We're staying with the shorties in those two races, Ballyboard and Copac to boards. Keels is with Good and Clever for the raiding party, and Johnny is having a little nibble each way on Blue Devassi and has already done so. So that is the Tattersalls Ireland Novice Hurdle. And if you want to have a free bet on that race, here's how to get it. And it's time for the 210. Yes, it is the Dublin Chase. Queen Mother contenders showing up here, and Gaelic Warrior, the big rival in the market to John Bon, according to the layers, is currently your 6-4 favourite. Was 4-5 during the week, even shorter in places. Now 6-4 Gaelic Warrior El Fabiolo, 6-1 48 hours ago, is now 11-5 with Paddy Power. Marine Nationale, the choice of price-wise, Tom Siegel in the Racing Post, is 5-1. It's 8-1 Solness, who beat most of these at Christmas here. Calixios is 10-1. Captain Guinness, the Queen Mother Champion Chase winner, Captain Guinness, is 33-1. Gentleman the Me is 40-1, and Sinicia is 250-1. Gaelic Warrior divides opinion like no other horse in training, Paul Keeley. I think he'll win this. I think 6-4 is a great price. Once that rain and drizzle keeps going, I think he's going to be extremely hard to beat, and I think he's drifting out to a proper price now, 6-4. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, Gaelic Warrior tends to do the opposite of what I think he's going to do every time he runs, basically.
So you don't fancy him?
I'm hoping he gets beat today, so we go out to a bigger price for Cheltenham because I think he's okay there. I don't, after he ran here last year, I thought I'd never going to back him on a left-handed track again. I actually think it's just Leopardstown he doesn't particularly like. I mean, he fell in a handicap hurdle here off a ridiculously low mark for his ability. And has run 2 stinkers over fences. Well, not stinkers. It wasn't that bad last time, but he still didn't. He still didn't jump that well, did he? It was, I mean, what was the rating of Solness going into that race? I mean, he should have beat him easy, shouldn't he? Like, you know what I mean? And he's still it's still a short price to do that now. He's been incredibly weak. And El Fabiolo's been incredibly strong, hasn't he? He was 8-1 on the declaration stage. He was 8, then he went 6s, and I couldn't believe it when I got up this morning, and he was that sort of price. But
the way he's good could go off favourite.
When you look at it, I mean, he's got the best form in the race, and it's not just the best form in the race. Other than Gaelic Warrior, he's absolutely miles better than the rest, isn't he? Like, on his best form, which is just what do we expect from him? We've been being told all along that it's been really hard. He's been really hard to train, and it's been hard to get him here. They want to run him here just so they can take him to Cheltenham. So how fit's he going to be? The market is suddenly beginning to tell you that actually he might be pretty fit. and there are negatives about Gaelic Warrior at this track. So I ended up making him on my selection. I just didn't expect him to be the price he is now.
You made El Fabiolo selection. Okay, interesting. So El Fabiolo for Keels. Johnny, this is a tricky one because the market is going completely one way, and you are a market man. You follow market moves, so it's stinking about Gaelic Warrior, and it's very positive about El Fabiolo.
Well, the markets at this stage, might differ to the time when the race comes. So it could change again, back up again, or back down, or in or out, whatever way you like to look at it. But I wouldn't be too worried about markets at this time of the day, anyway. Really, to be honest. And for this taking 6-1 looked a good price.
8-1 to 11-5 is quite the move.
He was 4-7 Gaelic Warrior, wasn't he?
8-1 in the first place. There was a remarkably big price for a horse. He's well clear in ratings.
Well,
even if he's coming off an absence.
Think he'd run, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I mean, if you were just asking someone to price this up based on the evidence we have to do, the racecourse evidence, and knowing the days the horses have been off the track, you'd still have El Fabiolo, close to favourite for this. You'd knock him out a little bit because of fitness concerns, but that's maybe been taken to an extreme with him being put in at 8-1 a couple of days ago. So that's just, for me, the market almost correcting itself.
And even surely if he wanted to, Paul Townend could have ridden El Fabiolo.
Well, that seems to be the arrangement, isn't it? That he can ride the money or horses if he wants to. Look, I think you're right. I think when people were pricing him up 8-1, they said he's not even going to be running. You know what I mean? So we have to put some sort of a price to his name. So suddenly, when he thinks he is running, then there's maybe a snowball effect.
But he was still a solid from declaration stage on Friday. He was a solid 6-1.
Yeah.
Like and he was 6-1 yesterday. So for 24 hours at least, he's been.
There's been very few market moves for this day, because there's so much going on yesterday.
Yeah.
There were no real moves from Sunday's cards yesterday. I noticed that. But the few who were blindingly overpriced, they were still not really moving in the market, who have now moved.
There's one in the bumper. Stay tuned. There's one in the bumper that myself and Rory are really keen on. Sorry, go on ahead.
Look, I'm only going to go with what they've been saying all along. Like, listening to what there have been the reports about El Fabiolo, like that you wouldn't have thought he'd even make Cheltenham, not a mind make here. Do you know what I'm saying? So, okay, it has to be some sort of a rush job or whatever, because the way they're talking about him, he's going to be like being casualty before he's going to be in Cheltenham, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? He wasn't going to be there, and he definitely wasn't going to be here anyway. This meeting, like, I was listening to people in the saying like he's going to be maybe Punchestown Aintree if we can get him there. Yeah. So for that reason, I'm going to lay El Fabiolo anyway. I think at
you're
night.
Going again with the leg
I would, yeah, I would. Look, Gaelic Warrior isn't bomb-proof either. He's not a bomb-proof favourite, and I couldn't have any faith in Marine Nationale. I'm definitely not in Solness.
No winner then, no.
I'm going to go with Quilixius, even though the stable is bang out of form. I'm hoping that they have to have a winner at some stage. That's the theory. And they will have to have a winner at some stage, but maybe not this one.
It's like Mick McCarthy. You can't get any worse than you can.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think Quilixius is a very good horse on his day, and ran all right against John Bonnet in the Tingle Creek. And I think John Bonnet would take care of all these, like quite easily as well. So look, if the stable was going well, I'd be quite keen on Quilixius, but it's not. It's not going well, and you can't ignore that. But look, El Fabiola to me. I have a feeling El Fabiola will go tearing back out in price when the time comes as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I can see if El Fabiola heading off at 4-1 to finish. You know what I mean?
Would
you be chasing him out? How far would you chase him out to?
Oh, the further he goes out, Paul, the more I'd be laying him far. You know what I mean? Like if he was rock solid at 94, I'd be a lot more worried laying him. But if he started to slide out again, I think I'd jump on that bandwagon. I think myself. But it'll be interesting to see what way he goes. But I have a feeling that he's at basement level now. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Okay.
If a fella did lay him, I think I'd lay him now.
If you wanted to be against him, you wouldn't fancy him finishing second either, would you?
No, there's a good chance he's going to hear having a run if there's such a thing in a Grade 1 race. Like it's a pipe opener to try, as Rory probably said there earlier on, it's a pipe opener to get him ready for the big day in March. You know what I mean? Now you could. The opposite argument was, he was 9-2 on in the champion chase. How could he not be favoured in a race like this? And if he was coming here with a good prep after winning maybe in the Hilly Way or something like that, he would be favoured here, regardless of what kind of jumping he does and whatever. But geez, I'd say like with the prep he's had, you couldn't back him.
So 10-1 Calixios for Johnny Deneen. Roy, I have a theory on Gaelic Warrior, and I thought at Christmas we saw a different Gaelic Warrior to what we had been seeing, in that we saw a little bit of Cheltenham where he was kind of more relaxed during the race.
Yeah.
I thought it was almost a lesson during Christmas to try and get him to relax, a bit like Galloping the Champs, who was a bit of a tearaway as a novice, and then they changed tactics and changed everything with him to relax him. I thought we saw a far more relaxed Gaelic Warrior, especially down the back straight where he was popping fences and getting in closer and popping and popping. I think they're teaching him to be a racehorse now, and I think you'll see a different performance here from that experience at Christmas.
I suspect you will. I mean, it's slightly worrying to see how weak he is in the market, but at the end of the day, I'm a value man, and I'd have been a watcher of this. I'll tell you what I did actually. I've had a little multiple bet in the day, and I put Calixios in at 16-1. I thought he was overpriced at those prices, but not for serious money. I'm not a massive fan of Calixios, but you know, you're basing it on price. Now that he's gone sort of 11-8, 6-4, I'd have to be taking a chance on Gaelic Warrior. People keep judging Willie Mullins' horses on what they do at Christmas. And you have to learn your lesson after a while that Willie Mullins doesn't necessarily, with his established horses, they're not going to be anywhere near ready at Christmas. Willie's working backwards from Punchestown, and sometimes he's working backwards from Otoy with some of his horses. It's Otoy, Punchestown, maybe a bit of Aintree, Cheltenham, DRF, and Christmas is your starting point. Whereas a lot of British trained horses, they're peaking at Christmas. You want to see the best of them at Christmas, and then you're hoping they're still showing the best in March. I think that's the main reason why Irish horses have done better than British horses at Cheltenham in the last couple of decades, because the British season is geared heavily towards Christmas, and after that it's just Cheltenham. Whereas, and particularly since DRF came along, you've now got that sort of focus, boom, 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 all the way through the season, and people like Willie make sure that their horses aren't overcooked by the time they get there. So there will be massive improvement in Gaelic Warrior. Listen, he's not the perfect racehorse. He's a little bit of a head scratcher, but on his day he's outstanding, and his win in the Arkle was frighteningly good. That is a bit of a standout in terms of what he's done over fences so far, and that came on heavy ground as well. So you know, we know he stays 2 mile 5 very well. He'd probably stay 3 miles if he wanted to go that way with him. So he's not a pure 2 miler, but this isn't a great race on paper, is it? If El Fabiola's not fit, Captain Guinness doesn't like Leopardstown. Calixios is neither here nor there, really. And you're struggling to find something. I almost went down the Solness route here. I mean, I can't have him at Cheltenham at all. And when he won at Christmas, that was his 7th run of the season. So, you know, he was super fit coming into that. This is probably one run too many for him, but he will get the same ride from Danny Mullins that he got at Christmas.
Is the ground be a little bit softer today, though?
Well, that's the question. I don't know how. We're talking about the rain that's coming. I'm not sure there's an awful lot of rain falling at the moment.
No, it's just drizzle, isn't it?
So if it's yielding,
just on the ground, just to give people an update on the ground. So this is an update from about an hour ago from Lorcan. It's soft on the hurdle track, soft on the hurdle track, and much softer on the hurdle track than on the chase track, because it's yielding, good to yielding in places on the chase track. 1 millimetre of rain overnight. It was a damp start this morning. I was up with kids at about 5:30. It was drizzling, and that's what he said as well. It was light drizzle continuing to mid-morning, but brighter in the afternoon with sunny spells and a moderate southwesterly breeze. So temperatures are to get up to 9 degrees as well. So it could dry out in the lead up to the race.
Yeah, listen, yielding, good to yielding in places on the chase course is not testing ground at all. That's a slight question mark for Gaelic Warrior. It's a positive for Solness, and he'll be out there in front doing what he did at Christmas. And he might not be the easiest to reel back in again, so he'll appeal to some as well. I couldn't possibly have him for Cheltenham, but this might be this is his big day, if you like. But I could have gone around the whole field and said can't win, and then have to start again That's that kind of race. But basically, on the day, I'm coming around to Gaelic Warrior because I'm not convinced by that gamble on El Fabiolo, and at 11 to 8 or 6 to 4, he's just too big to ignore now.
Okay, plenty of plagiarism going on here, because I'm with Rory as well with Gaelic Warrior. Johnny is with Calixios, and Keels is with El Fabiolo. That is the Dublin Chase. It's going to be fascinating. Moving swiftly on to the 2:45. It is the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey Leopardstown Handicap Chase, one of the hottest handicaps of the whole season, and the market is all about back to normal for Gavin Cromwell and Conor Stonewalsh. 3 to 1 now, back to normal, having been 7 to 2 about a half an hour ago. Sequestered is 11 to 2. Search for Glory 6 to 1. Pinkerton, the Galway plate winner, 7 to 1. James de Burley 8 to 1. Monbeg Park 8 to 1, and it's 14 to 1 bar. What are you cooking up for us here, Rory?
I'm going massively left field in this race. It's a really, really tough handicap. Having to put one selection down, a Gronk de Tay is the pick. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a little bit of a combination bet, maybe a tote swinger or something like that. There's never much money in the old swinger. There's 3 horses who ran in the Paddy Power Chase at Leopardstown over Christmas who were tailed off, who run here today, and they're next to each other on the card. Adamantly Chosen, Life in the Park, and Gronk de Tay. They all went right round the inside. You could not possibly be competitive going around the inside of the chase course at Christmas here. And unsurprisingly, the 3 of them finished out the back of the telly, but they all shaped better than the result there. They're all completely ignored in the betting. You're going to get, I think you're going to get 50 to 1, 66 to 1, and 25 to 1 about them coming off.
That is Rory.
So I don't think they're going to improve enough to finish first, second, and third, but I'll be having small bets, very small bets on the 3 of them, and a little combination, maybe through one of the favourites in there.
I thought Life in the Park's being teed up for the plate, or maybe the Kim Muir.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that way.
Lord home and 4th in the plate last year.
Yeah, definitely been shaping better. Obviously, you've got the same old issue with Henry de Bromhead's horses not running particularly well at the moment. But he's one to keep an eye on down the line. Gronk de Tay was improving coming into that race at Christmas, and ended up, he shaped well. He was the one of them who was competitive for a long way, and then dropped away from the third last. He wouldn't have been a stayer at the 3 mile trip anyway, but he was beaten. You watched the race back, you wouldn't say it was purely stamina, but going on much softer ground than everything else was on certainly helped to stop him quicker than he should have. So he's the one with a bit more upside. He was progressive before that, so I had to go for one horse in the race. It would be Gronk de Tay. One minor negative there, Finney Maguire rides. I'm a big fan of Finney Maguire, but how many chase winners has Finney Maguire ridden in his career? And he's been around a fair while. One is the correct answer.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, Dave, for a long time he didn't.
It's my job.
For a long time, essentially, he wasn't riding his chases.
Pure guess. Yeah,
he was, and he's ridden point-to-point winners. But under rules, he's ridden, as far as I can see, in the last 5 seasons, 1 winner, and that's because he's been fundamentally a bumper jockey for a long time, and that's a good way to go. So it's a slight question, but he's a very talented rider, and if you've followed him in bumpers over the years, you'll see that there's a lot of his father about him as well.
Johnny, we're under a bit of time pressure now, because obviously it's an hour show, which I'd say could be music to your ears, because this doesn't strike me as a Johnny Dineen special.
Look, I looked. I think there's plenty of exposed horses. I like the unexposed types of these races, and obviously Back to Normal is one of those. Search for Glory is another. Back to Normal, he's found in the market 3 to 1, whatever price he's not a great price now, but for a horse that could take care of events at the Cave of Punchestown, he's had 3 nice little sighters over fences. He's in here. He's in here.
Keep going, we have music in the background. Keep going.
He's in here off 130. A £5 claim. He's a lot to like. Gavin Cromwell, he's just on fire too.
Absolutely.
I think he's the one to beat. Yeah.
One to beat 3. And you actually fancied to win a beginner's chase that had a lot of good horses in it in Navan as well. Keels, what do you like here?
What's that?
What do you like?
Back to Normal's a standard, classic Irish handicap chaser, isn't it? 3 runs. Showed so much promise in the first 2 that went off at 40 to 1 for the third one, and now it's 3 to 1 favourite for a massive handicap. It'd probably win, wouldn't it? I fancy Search for Glory, though.
Search for Glory?
I fancy Search for Glory. I thought he ran really, really well behind Impere Pass, especially as that trip was well on the short side for him. And hopefully he's going to go well.
Beautiful. Nicely put. Chartreuse is the one that I thought was interesting here. Chartreuse and me are going down together. Chartreuse and me. Thank you very much. Music has now stopped. Chartreuse, one of these horses, has been rated 133 for the last 33 years and hasn't won a race. But when he puts it all together, I know you backed him at Christmas as well, didn't you?
Yeah, something.
And he came down at the first in the Tim Duggan. He's a type of horse that one of these days, and I know we've spoken about to the Bromhead team, but in the Tayestas last year, he travelled like a dream into the straight and didn't get home over 3 mile 1 in bottomless ground. He's just a type of horse that could pop up in the Leopardstown Chase. And now, folks, it's time for the big one. Yes, it is the Irish Champion Hurdle. It's 8 to 11 Lossiemouth. It's 5 to 4 State Man. You can probably forget the rest, but for the purpose of the market, it's 25 to 1 Winter Fog, Daddy Longlegs 66 to 1, and Phil's Dudares is 80 to 1. Johnny Deneen, what the hell is Paul Townend at?
Look, I don't know. I mean, I actually backed Lossiemouth and I was expecting Townend to pick it. He didn't, obviously. But that's a big worry for anyone that fancies Lossiemouth. I don't care what anyone says. I wouldn't be having any more, and I might be able to get out of my bet for a small fine even. I'll see what people are saying later on. But you cannot ignore the stable jockey picking the other one, no matter what you think. So it'd be stupid to turn around and say, I don't care what he pick, I don't care what he's right.
Talk me through your theory. So there's people watching this show this morning and they're going to say, hold on a second here, what's going on? 8 to 11 Lossiemouth, 5 to 4 State Man. Why is Paul Townend not riding Lossiemouth? You give me your theory on why you think
I've no idea. He's obviously riding a statement thinking it has a better chance than Lossiemouth.
Do you think he's thinking about today?
No, I think he's thinking about today only.
Not
at all. He's thinking about today, and that's the worrying if you back Lossiemouth today. He's thinking about today, and maybe it's a coin flip, whatever. But even if it is a coin flip, he still has gone the other way. He's gone for statement. So. Look, I'm very uncomfortable when you're not on the stable jockey in a situation like this. Now, I have a few quid on it. As I said, I mightn't even die with the bet. I might even just get out of it or something like that. But look, I just think you can't ignore those things. You know.
Okay, I'll flip the question then, Johnny. If Paul Townend was riding Lossiemouth, how sweet would you be?
I'd be thinking she was a good thing. Yeah.
Would you?
I would. Yeah.
That's the big difference it makes.
Massive. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think so. I do. I'd fancy her very so. Put it this way. I think Lossiemouth has a fighting chance in the Champion Hurdle. I think Statement is 0 in the Champion Hurdle. One of them was about 5 to 1 for the other one was 10 to 1, and yes, he's picked a 10 to 1 chance. There's something not adding up here, and that's worrying for anyone back in Lossiemouth.
Okay, so Johnny thinks potentially Lossiemouth could be vulnerable because the stable jockey is not riding her. Now, you differ to Johnny in a lot of ways in your punting keels. One of them is you don't mind backing drifters, and I'm right in saying you're not overly fussed about stable jockeys picking horses?
Not massively fussed. Generally, yeah. If I like the chance of a second string, then I've got no problem with backing it. But in this case, Willie Mullins has said all along, State Man's my number one. The form book says State Man's his number one as well. He is, whatever way you want to look at it, on his best form. He's a better horse than Lossiemouth, even with the £7 allowance that he's got to give her. Because her form, no matter how you look at it, isn't that strong because it's come against mares. She's done it very easily.
But is Statement a busted flush now?
Because he's won.
Well, he's been beaten twice in a row.
Well, Brighter Days Ahead is very, very good. And he's basically run one bad race in his life over the last 4 years.
But it was his last race.
But it was his last race, which is why he isn't favourite. But I mean, the market is telling the trainer and jockey are telling you that maybe that is in the past, and he's the one to be on.
Are you with Statement?
I would be on Statement. And it was obviously the rumour mill going around. The rumours going around that both of them have been working rather poorly. But it could all be complete nonsense. Like we heard before, But I was going to say let's tip Winter Fog because he finished in front of Statement last time anyway. But no, I'd be in the Statement camp.
Right, before we come to you, Johnny, what are the chances of Statement actually going off favourite?
I guess Lossiemouth will be favoured, but that'll be interesting. The betting will be interesting too. I think Lossiemouth will probably be favoured, but who knows? You just don't know what the betting. It's remarkable.
On the exchanges at the moment, right here, right now, Lossiemouth is 1.78, so quite tight at that price now at the moment, and Statement is 2.46.
Well, she's no chance of not being favoured.
There's a big gap between them in the exchange at the moment. Rory, what camp are you in?
I'm in the Lossiemouth camp. I don't really... in terms of the jockey situation, I think it's very hard to get off an Irish Champion Hurdle and a Champion Hurdle winner in a race like this. I think, if I was Paul Townend, maybe I'm a bit softer than Paul Townend, I'd think, listen, this horse has given me some tremendous days. He's He's a champion hurdle winner. He's an Irish champion hurdle winner. He's got a bunch of Grade 1 wins to his name. How do you get off him? I would struggle to get off him.
That's what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned this.
Johnny is making a face.
I mentioned this to Ruby Walsh, and Ruby said, "Well, it wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't stop me getting off it." And he said, "I don't think Paul. Maybe Paul is thinking that way, but he said it'd be a bit of a surprise to him. For me, I think that it's perfectly logical that he's a very, very difficult horse to get off. Neither of them have been absolutely flying of late. Lossiemouth, it was a bit of a penalty kick for her, wasn't it? First time up." And then she never looked happy from the get-go in the Christmas hurdle. I'd be a little bit more confident if he was sticking with her, but it wouldn't massively change my mind. And if you look at the history of the DRF and the rides that Danny Mullins ends up inheriting from other jockeys, if you like, the second strings that Danny rides, you'd be doing very well back in those. So I've got no real issue with that. Again, it's not I'm going to enjoy the race. It's it's an Irish champion hurdle. It's a really interesting clash between two horses who were absolutely flying last year. I won't be getting heavily involved in it, but Lossiemouth was the one I'd much rather have on the day.
Lossiemouth.
I go Lossiemouth, hopefully, yeah.
Lossiemouth and Stateman, you're on your own, Kills. That is the Irish champion hurdle. Oh, it's going to be a corker. And our penultimate race on the card is the 350. It's a timeless Sash Windows handicap hurdle. McLaury is your 11-4 favourite, the big plunge horse over the last 24 hours. Brave Troop, who's been bought by the shrewdy Paul Byrne, is currently 5-1. Stormheart 13-2. James Escape 13-2. Old Man Dingle 8-1. And it is 10-1 bar. And am I right in saying, Johnny, you're a fan of the favourite here?
Yeah, but not at 11-4. It was way bigger, wasn't it? Like this was 8-1.
Way bigger.
Yeah. Look, I think it is a great chance. I think it's fired in off 120. I mean, I think it's about 16 pound better in with St James's Gate. I'd say it's a better horse than James's Gate even. And like even though James Gate's a nice horse and all that, but saying that, you need experience is vital in races like this, and he doesn't do much of that at the same time. Big field of horses. I think it's probably pointing that Mark Walsh got down to 10-2 to ride this, but didn't bother getting down to 10-2 to ride Meeting of the Waters.
Yeah.
So that's probably a significant indication that of the level of fancy for McLaury. He doesn't ride a 10-2 much, I'd say, does he, Mark Walsh? He doesn't, anyway. Look, it's a great chance. It's been found in the market though, at the same time. I think I'd leave it at 11-4. I was giving Stormbreaker a chance. I think that has a bit of a chance. Horse I don't fancy here is Stormheart. I mean, that's no chance anyway myself. None in the world.
Nothing.
None. Zero. Look, McLaury's the horse to beat, but he's short.
Okay. Why do you not fancy Stormheart?
I just didn't think he'd be up to it. It's the first run of the season as well, on top of that. I think he's no good anyway, Stormheart.
That's very. I'd back Stormheart. I'm going to be in the camp here. I'd back Stormheart and Stormbreaker, funny enough.
Have you? You're in this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know you backed it.
No, that's fine. We can always disagree.
So why do you like the two Storms?
I like the two Storms. I mean, Stormbreaker ran a really curious race at Punchestown. It made such a bad mistake that Paul Townend was actually thinking of pulling him up. And he actually dropped back to last twice in that race and then roared home to finish second. And, to run a career best under those circumstances suggests he's still improving. And Stormheart...
It's a good horse, isn't he, Stormheart?
He's a good horse, yeah. He's fifth in the Triumph. At the time, with Sergino being missing for the Triumph last year...
Well, right in saying he was sent off favourite for the Triumph.
I think he was, yeah. Yeah.
He's a good horse. He's a good horse.
He's a good horse. But, either side of him was Nürburgring.
Yeah.
He won the Galway Hurdle. Just behind him was Salvatore Mundi, who's favourite for the Supreme. It was a very good Triumph.
It's a good horse.
He hasn't won since.
He's a good horse, isn't he?
He is a good horse. He is a good horse.
I suppose he is in the context of normal horses. He's a good horse. Maybe not so much in this race. Maybe, I don't know.
And he's been said to have worked very, very well the other day. Although Ruby did say, I don't think he's ever shown on the course what he does at home. So he may be one of those.
Okay, so Stormheart currently a 13-2 shot with Paddy Power. And Stormbreaker 11-1. I'm just going to throw a mad one out there. He's a bit mad. Batman Girac is well handicapped if he does put it all together, but he's keen, he's free, he's a horrible ride in the race. JJ Slepin is riding today, but just in that juvenile form from last season, tied in with Nürburgring behind Calaconti, I think he's got a squeak in this Batman Girac at 25-1. Rory, what do you like?
Quickly, I've had a small each-way bet and an each-way double in the last two races. Irish Panther here at a biggish price. He's shortened up a little bit this morning by the looks of it. He's never won a race He looked really promising. He was second to Ballyburn or second to Factor File and third to Ballyburn in bumpers. Looked like he was going to be a top horse. Hasn't taken off over hurdles at all, but he's changed stable before his last race. He's now with the Hearties, whereas a Hood for the first time. He's rated 119. Cian Cullinan takes £7 off his back. He's got no weight. He's got loads of talent. He was third here over Christmas. He's wherever he is at the last, he won't finish any closer at the line. You know that. But I'm hoping that he's on the bridle and in first or second place at the last hurdle and can hold on for a place from there. That's essentially what I'm looking for.
Beautiful. That is 16-1 Irish Panther for Rory Delargy. Keels is with the two Storms, Stormbreaker and Stormheart, and Johnny thinks McLaury could be chucked in, but he's not a fan of the price at 11-4. And Rory did speak there about an each-way double in the final two races, and myself and Rory are very much in the same camp for the finale, and the finale is the Coolmore National Hunt Sires Luxembourg Irish EBF Mayor's Bumper, and it sees quite a short price favourite, although slightly on the drift. Future Prospect is 13-8, Amen Kate is 9-2, Bambino Fever is 13-2, Carrigamore and Spruce is also 13-2, and then you're into 15-2. The filly that both myself and Rory Delargy are very keen on, Blue Velvet. I'll let you make the case first. You're the proper expert here. You're Paddy Power's man. Tell everybody why we fancy Blue Velvet.
Well, essentially, Blue Velvet, she's around the right price now. That's the downside to this conversation. But when the jockey bookies came out for the race and Patrick was on the favourite, unsurprisingly, Blue Velvet, who won her bumper in good style, despite looking pretty green through the race, penny dropped late on and she won nicely. So she was about a 15-2 shot for this in the anti-post market. And once Patrick's chosen the other one, she's gone out to 25-1. And for me, that's just bonkers. She's got the chance that she has. Patrick's not going to choose her in the race because you've got a blindingly obvious favourite there. He's going to pick her, even if there's that much between them at home. He's going to pick the favourite, and if they're priced up at 6-4 and 15-2, the fact that Patrick goes for the 6-4 shot doesn't mean the 15-2 shot should be 25-1. And that's exactly what happened. She doubled in price. Paddy Power knocked her out to 16s and then to 25-1. I spoke to Ruby about her. I spoke to Tom Nugent, and they all liked her to some degree. I'm not a bumper expert at all, but I do have a little bit of knowledge about how betting markets should work and how they shouldn't work. And knocking a second string out to that degree just on jockey bookings when a top trainer is running at a race like this makes no sense to me. So I'm backing her on the form and on that price.
Yeah, I just thought watching her at Thurles, I thought she was so green and it took a while for the message to get through. And I said, the minute that race was over, I said, she's far better than what the bare form suggests here. Now, she mightn't be Future Prospect, who could be a star, but I think Blue Velvet is much better than she's showed at Thurles. So I'm with Blue Velvet. Johnny, in a sentence, what do you like here?
Look, I listened to Ruby yesterday saying that Future Prospect might be the best of their bumper horses, which is a bit worrying for the way I was thinking. I was going to slaughter Future Prospect. I don't fancy her at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is a really deep race. And I think the form of her race isn't worth $1 in Fairy House. Like, that's a nice yoke she beat there, Swing Davis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's desperate form in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know. Like, look, she got to run the race. She nearly ran out of the bend and all that kind of stuff. Like, this is way more compared. Like, I could see, like, okay, she has a chance. Amen Kate has a chance. Bambino Fever won well in Punchestown. Carrigamore and the Spruce beat Geldings here at Christmas.
Yeah.
Sartudo didn't do much harm for the farm either. Blue Velvet has a chance. Like, even got on as far as to switch from Diesel as a horse I give a chance to. I think this is a very, very deep race, and it's under 2-1. I'm going to lay a Future Prospect. I give Carrigamore and the Spruce a great chance here. I do. I think she's a very likeable mare and quickens well at the end of the race. Has a blinding turn of foot, and hopefully he don't give her too much to do. Like, he's given her too much to do twice and got away with it. But I wouldn't like to see, like, giving him 10 lengths after last spin that rubbish. But look, I think Carrigamore and Spruce is a very good mare, and I think this is a deep race. And like you mean, Kate, you know how like that beat Carrigamore and Spruce in this stall, how good that is. But I'm feeling the favourite is ridiculously short here in myself. And since this race is the inception of this race, I think no favourite has ever won it, and it's got bookies out of a hole a good few times. And
You think it will today?
I do.
Okay, there you go. He's taken on Future Prospect Johnny Deneen with Carrigamore and the Spruce. And the last word goes to you, Keels.
You know me and bumpers, don't you?
Good, because we're running out of time. You fancy anything?
But no, Ruby was telling everybody that Blue Velvet was way overpriced on Friday night.
That's good
so
news.
that was it. That's why I put up as my token selection.
Okay, so we've got 3 votes for Blue Velvet on your caption there, and Johnny is with Carrickmore Spruce. So it's charity bet time. 3 of us disgraced ourselves yesterday. Ruby Walsh put up a double Majborough and Gallop in the Sham, so we've got some money going to charity, thankfully. But myself and you put up Captain's Nephew, who didn't run well at all. And Johnny's nap was St. Lucy. How did she go, Johnny?
Oh, atrocious, yeah.
Right, let's redeem ourselves. I'm gonna rip off the plaster early, and I'm gonna go with Savante in the opening race. The value's gone a little bit now. It was 12-1 yesterday, but I think Savante's got a big chance in the opener for Colin Murphy and Connor Stonewalsh. Keels, what's the charity bet?
I was going to say Storm Heart just to prove Johnny wrong, but I think I went for Search for Glory, actually. Search for Glory was the nap.
Search for Glory, excellent. Johnny?
I can't remember what I put up. What is it?
It is
back to normal. Yeah, back to normal.
Topical,
Yeah.
back to normal. Johnny can't remember what he said 5 minutes ago. So back to normal.
There it is there. Yeah, back to normal.
Johnny, you
There
look
you
very
go.
happy in that picture, Johnny, I have to say. And Rory looking extremely smart. Was that your wedding day, Rory?
That's somebody else's body on my face, obviously.
You're with Irish Panther at 14-1. There you go. Hopefully we'll make some few quid, hopefully, for charity. Ruby was the only winner yesterday, but those are the charity bets for day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival. And that is it, folks. That is it for our Good Morning Dublin shows this week. My thanks to Rory Delargy, who's been terrific today, to Johnny Deneen, to Paul Keeley. Don't forget, we are back for Good Morning Cheltenham all 5 days. Yes, we'll be having a preview show on the Monday of the Cheltenham Festival. But until then, enjoy day 2 of the Dublin Racing Festival. Thanks for watching.